Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm back here with episode 159. If you're new to the channel, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's help the channel keep growing. If you know somebody that might be interested in the content, share the content. If you want to chime into the conversation, man, hit the comment button there. You know what I'm saying? So we back for episode 159, and we took a little week off, man. It's been a little bit my work life balance has changed a little bit, and it's back to school time. It's back to school time, and so the schedule's changed, and got a lot of new things. I got a new job. We working, man. We working, we doing certain things. The news cycle actually been kind of slow. It's either like a lot of random like political stuff. It's some, the Olympics was, just kind of ended, so they doing that. Football about to start, so we about to start getting more football headlines, which we could, maybe we would touch a little bit on football, but yeah, man, back to school time though. Back to school time. I guess I want to start off, and I want to ask y'all, like, especially if you're a parent, right? What's better? Like, do parents in general, do parents prefer the summertime, or can they just like not wait when back to school comes around? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this like a celebration for parents? Or is it like, or are you gonna be sad because you get to spend a little less time with your child? For me, I get a little bit sad because I do a lot of fun stuff with my son throughout the summertime. I got a lot more free time during the summer, and so it's always a good vibe. But like, I just want to know, like, for parents, like, what's better? Is the beginning of the school year better, or the end of the school year better for you? And what do you prefer? I'm just wondering, because I know for a lot of parents, their kids be at the house, they eating up all the food. They maybe sometimes like you get annoyed because your kids ain't doing as much as you want them to do. Because I remember, man, when we was young, I swear to God, like outside, we went outside like it was our job. We went outside like we was clocking in. And that it was truly a punishment if we had to stay inside, because I guess we had technology, but not as much technology. But like, it was like we couldn't go outside. It was the end of the world. And I just remember in the summertime, I would put in a 12-hour shift, bro. Like it is no it's easy to put in the 12, maybe not a 12-hour shift, but like easy 8 hours. I could be out from noon to 8 o'clock and just be content. You know what I mean? And I ain't even need no money, or had a little bit of money to go to the store, but just content, just outside, getting dark, what I mean, all that sun, all that, um, going to pools, being in like little camps and programs and stuff like that. Like, I was having fun, man. I always had fun in the summertime. And I wonder if like kids have that same passion for the summer. Like, do they find it to be as fun? Because I always hear a lot of kids talking about they bored. And me, it's like it's been a long time since I've been bored, for like, I really don't be bored. Like, I really don't be bored because there's always something to do. There might be certain things I don't want to do or whatever, but like, boredom is like, nah, that's not even in my vocabulary, for real, for real. But I wonder if the kids feel the same way. I wonder. So, Olympics is over, so we're not gonna get into like a in-depth conversation about the Olympics, but we gotta, do a little overview. I did miss last week, so we can do a little overview. So with the Olympics, right? We got, with the end of the Olympics, we got basically the medal count. The medal count. USA was at the top of the medals, right? So we tied with 40 golds with China. And you know what? It's funny because I was looking at the medal count, we had the total number of medals. We had the most like the whole time. And I just feel like, Yes, golds are important. But like if even if just say you would have one more gold than another country, I don't think that one more gold should put you over the top, especially if you have like 20 more of another medal or something like that. So if you think of the final medal count, USA, we finished with 126 medals. We had 40 gold, we had 44 silver, and we had 42 bronze. And now the some of the silvers, it does upset me a little bit because we all know second place is first loser, right? So it's like how many events could we have, I mean, just did a little bit better to get us over the top. Like you think about Sha'Carri Richardson, right? So she had a good relay, but she did not have a good 100. And yeah, and like I watched her heats and stuff like that. I watched her in the different rounds, and like the when she lost to the girl from St. Lucia, I seen her get smoked by that girl like twice. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people was kind of referencing the fact that like in the relay, her splits were like the fastest that she's ever run. But like a relay race and just an individual race is two different things, right? So we can't really go off of the split. Like we can, I mean, mathematically we can go off the splits, but it's not you're not even getting off to the same kind of start. Um, and she was getting off to bad starts in a lot of those 100-meter heats, right? So, but yeah, so we we tie with China, with the most gold, but I still feel like we outshine them. We had 35 more medals than them total, so I feel like that should kind of count for something. As opposed to it just being like, oh, it's just about the gold, it's just about the first places. I think like overall, like we dominated the Olympics, and rightfully so, rightfully so. And so before we talk a little bit overview and wrap up a little bit more about Team USA, I did want to talk about um this phenomenon, right? Yeah, you heard of this lady named Raygun, right? Rachel Gunn, who was so y'all know breakdancing was introduced into the Olympics, right? So before we get into this and this lady, um I just want to ask, is breakdancing a sport? Like I think it's definitely competitive and it's definitely takes athleticism. Like it's like I can't do none of that stuff, whatever. But like, is it a sport though? Is it something that can like really, stay in the test of time? Is this something that can, like I respect it. I respect that we're in it, but like I don't even think like America, I don't think we meddled in that at all. And I had a feeling like it had to be like probably like a Japanese or Chinese country, maybe Korean, that probably like was at the top of that. And I might be off base here. Like who, matter of fact, let's see, breaking Olympics. Let's see, medals. Okay, yeah. All right. So a dude from Canada won for the men. Followed by it was a dude from France with the silver, and then we did have a bronze guy. We did have a guy win bronze. Montalvo, last name Montalvo. For the women, we had a Japanese woman, Lithuanian woman was second, and then a Chinese woman was third place. So like, but yeah, is it a sport? Is it something that we can, is it gonna be around for the next Olympics? So what they do is I noticed that with the Olympics, especially on that like last weekend, they'll introduce an event. So they started the women's event on Friday and ended it Friday. Same with men. They started Saturday and it ended on that Saturday. So it wasn't something that carried over a long time. And it was funny because when you have Peacock, you could pick by the sports, and then it said breaking, and I didn't know what the hell breaking was. I actually thought it had something to do with like water, like I mean, like waves breaking or something like that. I thought it was a type of sailing or something. I didn't know like it was like breakdancing because I was like, oh, I would have probably like tried to watch it, but no, I didn't watch it. And I should have watched it, right? And I should have watched the women's event, right? Because I'm gonna talk about this lady named Raygun. So there's a lady, so the representative of Australia, and there was about 16 dancers, right? So the representative of Australia was a lady named Rachel Gunn. Now Rachel Gunn has she actually is a professor that studies breakdancing in Australia, right? So, but like when you see her performance though, it like she knows she was wrong. She knows she was dead wrong. And now that like there's been stuff that's been reported that like the Australian Olympic Committee they're like investigate like there's some type of investigation going on about like how she even qualified in the first place. Like how do you make it on to to represent your country in breakdancing when you have no skill? So this lady, she we could probably maybe put a little video or something like that. But all y'all seen it. Y'all seen the lady from Australia. She was a hot mess. Like she wasn't doing like she just did not do well. She did not do well. And yeah, I mean the internet going internet. The internet going internet. So they gonna show it and we seen like she wasn't even doing like moves that would be considered like breakdancing. And like it's funny because on the men's side, I seen this like this male this male breakdancer from Australia. And he was he was like Asian, like in terms of his his cultural identity and stuff like that. And he was nice. He was nice. So it's like, okay, like they do have people that know how to do it. But you're wondering, like, all right, did she get it based off her credentials? I did see this little performance where that said like this is how she qualified, and it was like a lot of the same stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, damn, like what? Why is the bar so low? So obviously I can't break dance. Obviously, if I was out there, I would make a fool of myself just the way that she did. However, I live in America also, right? So like in America, I would not even sniff qualifying for nobody's breakdancing event, right? Like I wouldn't even like it wouldn't even be a consideration. It would be like it'd be like, "Lo, sit your ass down, man. What you doing? You know your ass can't dance. You know your ass can't break dance on top of that." And so like I wouldn't even place anywhere. Like they wouldn't dare let me enter the Olympics, whatever. So that's why it's controversial because it's like and I never seen so much coddling of a if this is a sport, right? If this is a sport, then we got to go off meritocracy and we cannot coddle the athletes. So I never seen so much coddling for somebody and them saying, "Oh, but she tried her best and she did this, she did this." Like this ain't some talent show, right? Like this is the Olympics. This is supposed to be the best of the best. And I'm sure there got to be one woman, there got to be probably several women in Australia that can break dance even a fraction bit better than what Raygun did. And I just don't think it's like if you're gonna be a part of a sport, I'm seeing her break, she broke her silence and she's like upset about the hate and things like that. But it's like, yo, it's sports. This is a sport. And it's like you gonna be held to the same standard and what it looks like, what it looked like from our eyes, it looked like you did not even belong there. You might have tried your best, but your best ain't enough if you get into the Olympics. Like you gotta be the best in your country. You know what I mean? And I know that cannot be the best in her country. Like I don't know too much about breakdance in Australia, but like I wanna hope and believe that there's dance crews, female dance crews, whatever, and that somebody is a fraction bit better than that. So that was crazy. Um, other than that, in terms of the Olympics, I mean, Team USA, we dominated, you know what I mean, the sports that we are expected to dominate, right? And you know what I mean, we won basketball. We did win quite a few track meets, track events. Women's and men's won basketball, and there's been a lot of talk with the basketball team about how like Jason Tatum wasn't getting no playing time, and they're making a lot about that. Some of it is like about like, oh, he's pouting on the sideline. Some of it is about like, oh, he might people think that maybe he don't have good work ethic, and that's why Kerr wasn't playing them. I just think that when you have arguably the best players in the league all on one team, like this ain't just East versus West. This is like a conglomerate, conglomerate of the best of the best. I just think that like certain times, like certain people get left out. Like everybody can't get minutes. I mean, you got 10 spots, 12 spots, right? Everybody can't get minutes. So like it's just a part of the game. I think that maybe for the style of play, like certain players kind of fit the mold a little bit better than others. Maybe there was something with the coach. Maybe there was something with Steve Kerr that he didn't fuck with Tatum. Maybe Tatum is like nursing an undisclosed injury. I mean, something that's like, not too crazy, but it's still bad. Like you got to remember, like he didn't get a he didn't necessarily get a break. You know what I'm saying? Like he just won the NBA finals, a month before that. And then he's jumping right back into competitive basketball. Like I just think maybe maybe he wanted the rest. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody wants the glory as well, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, but people are saying like, "Oh, watch this year, he's gonna go crazy on these teams," and he might, and that might be motivation. And they're saying like, it's not gonna discourage him to try to be on Team USA in 2028. So we'll see what happens with that. So we got that, and then we got the boy Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles won his event, the 100 meters, in a photo finish, and like it was. That joint was controversial. Like because I didn't see it like alive, but like when you look at the photo finish, it's like it's hard to tell. Like for me, because he did lean in, but it's like somebody's foot is like it looks like this on the line. But apparently, if you go backward frame by frame, you can see his lean forward was there before the foot. It's crazy. It's crazy. So he won, but then he did not do good in the 200 meter, and he didn't do he well. I don't want to say he didn't do good. I think he got bronze, right? He got bronze in the 200, and they said that he got sick or something like that. He had like COVID, and then basketball, they kind of poked some jabs at him, and they was like, "Oh, are we world champs now?" Because yeah, they won on the world stage. Noah Lyles is famous for saying that NBA champions, or even any like any domestic league like the NFL and MLB, um, NHL, and the NBA, obviously, and when they win the title, they call them world champions. And he just made a comment years ago that was like, "Oh, like how are they world champions? They don't play the world." But we all know why they say they're world champions is because the best players in the world play in the best league, which is the NBA or the NHL or the MLB. Like those are the best leagues in the world, right? The best league in the world. The NBA is the best league in the world. So if you do win, you are the world champions. I don't care what no law says, all right? So they poked fun at him. And then it made other people has been kind of at Noah Lyles' neck. And Tyreek Hill says that he thinks he would beat Noah Lyles in a race. And so they started like really, looking at it now. Tyreek Hill is a track star. Like he was a track star. He is one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player in the NFL. And they showed, I guess his best time ever is like 10-1. It's like 10-1-9. And Noah Lyles' fastest time is still like 9-7 or something like that. Like it's crazy. It's crazy what it is. And so they're like, obviously he wouldn't smoke him. Tyreek Hill he's run in some track and field events, like even after he was been a player, and like he ran some like 60-meter dash, and his splits were pretty good. But like Noah Lyles runs the 60 as well, and like his splits are even better. Now, Tyreek Hill saying that he could beat him in a race, I'm not ruling that out because I think, well, obviously, with pads on, I think Tyreek Hill probably does smoke him. I think with no pads on, if they ran in grass or turf, I think the playing field is maybe a little bit more even than we think it is. But like, yes, on the track, no allows is probably beating this guy. Yeah, no doubt. But we don't know. We don't know what Tyreek Hill can do given if he like trained, if he trained for this event for years, just like Noah Lyles gets to train, what would be the results? I think he would probably fare better than we actually think he would, right? So that is down Olympics, man. America, we shown that we can be the best. We are the best. I mean, we still standing out amongst other countries and stuff like that. So that's really dope to see, man. And I can't wait till the Olympics in 2028. It's in LA, and I feel like, I'll be 40. I'll be 40 next time we had Olympics. Yeah, 40. Yeah, because yeah. And it will be the 40th anniversary. Not, I mean, because there wasn't Olympics the year I was born. So I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go. I gotta catch something out there. So we'll see. We'll see in 4 years. I wonder what ticket prices are and things like that. But yeah, 2028 in LA. I want to be there. I want to be there. So we'll see what that's looking like. All right, moving on. Moving on. Oh shit. I'm actually not feeling like my throat. I'm not feeling that well. So I'm not feeling that well. We might have to wrap this up pretty soon. But let's see what we got. What we got. This is just I got some. We're gonna react to some things. And yeah, we're gonna react to a couple different things here and see y'all. Let me hear your thoughts about some of these topics that we about to touch on real quick. Let me kind of clean up this thing real quick on my some stuff on my computer. I just got a lot of stuff going on, so I can share some screens here. Okay. Oh, we gotta restart that. Okay. All right. So so first thing we want to do, so let's I heard a quote. I heard something that, well, the whole thing, um it made me think of a bunch of stuff, whatever. And I kind of want to hear your thoughts about this. But like, have you ever heard of dying empty, right? And why you should die empty, right? What does that mean? What does it mean to die empty, right? So DJ Jazzy Jeff, right? Fresh Prince. So DJ Jazzy Jeff, he was was on some type of platform, and he started talking about this concept of dying empty, and I thought it was pretty dope. So let's hear what you guys say. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I got y'all. Let's see. Die empty. We're gonna share this now. We're gonna optimize video clip. Okay. So it says DJ Jazzy Jeff. It says die empty conversation about creatives getting all that's inside of you out into the world. So let's hear this.
On to their art. They're doing this. I've always said, listen, you will never put out all of the music that you make in your lifetime. So this is what you need to do. Sell some, get the rest away. Die empty. Die empty. Don't die with shit creatively inside of you. Die empty. So however it's got to come out, if I got to throw it out, give it out, this is the album that I vacuum my floor with, get it out. Get it out. Best example of that is Dilla. When he knew that his days were limited, what he did is he made sure that he got with people that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That's why he still got shit coming out that you haven't discovered. Oh my God, I got this new batch of Dilla beats. What was this? Oh, it was under somebody's bed, and so this CD he get it out. What? They're not holding on to their art.
Mm, die empty. So I like the concept of that. I like hearing that, right? So if I had to guess, if I had to guess, right? Because I didn't see that full conversation, but like if I had to guess the context of what he was talking about, he probably was talking about younger artists, right? So a lot of times, right, we call this era the microwave era, right? We do. We naturally do. We say that, it's not that great, right? And we criticize people that drop all the time. Drop all the time. We criticize them, right? The biggest droppers of music, I would say, like the most frequent droppers of music in the last 15 years is Drake and Future, right? Like Drake and Future. Um, I mean, there are probably underground people too that I mean that we can kind of count in there. But I would say, yeah, in the last 15 years, let's say even the last 10 years, I mean, it's definitely Drake and Future. Like they're the type of people that they always got something coming out, always got something coming out. As you know, in comparison to other artists, like comparison to J. Cole, comparison to Kendrick Lamar, comparison to all these people that like take a lot of time to do their work, and then you got people that's pumping stuff out. And younger artists. There are a lot of younger artists that I can't even think of off the top of my head that like you feel like they always got something out. They always got something out. They, you know what I mean, they dropping 2 albums a year. They dropping 3 projects in a full year and stuff like that. And I think we oftentimes we criticize these artists, but like maybe they don't realize it, but maybe they are living by this concept of dying empty, right? Where it's like you never gonna like DJ Jazzy Jeff says, like you don't wanna die and feel like you should have did this. I should have recorded this. I should have made this song or album. Like you got it all out of you. You got it all out of you. And I think there's something very cathartic about that. Like it's something that makes you feel alive when you do that. Like when you get out all that what you have to express to the point where like you can truly retire. Like you can truly retire happy because it's like, yo, I don't got it no more. I don't got it no more. Like we always talk about rappers don't retire. And it's because we always think that, yo, he still got something in there. Like he still got something in there. But like if you really like die, so to speak, died empty or like knew like, all right, I gotta get everything out. Like I want to hear rappers saying like, yo, I don't got it no more. I really don't got it no more. Like it's not in me because they poured out everything that they had in them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's something beautiful to that. Um, I think another artist, a veteran artist that kind of lived by that, and I think for a while it made us kind of scratch our heads a little bit, but like, and he's an artist that gets overlooked all the time because he did have a string of like questionable bars, like on certain mixtapes and things like that. But I think of Fab. I think of Fab, right? So his last major album, I think Cold Summer is Cold Summer considered a major album? I know Young OG Project was an album, but like so when Loso's Way comes out in 2009, right? And that's that. Yeah, I mean, people don't want to call it a classic. People say Fab don't got no classics. Fab has amazing albums. I don't know what people thinking from Ghetto Fabulous, Street Dreams, From Nothing to Something, Street Dreams the mixtape, Real Talk, Loso's Way. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a lot of great projects. He has a lot of great projects. And then after Loso's Way, that's when he started like getting into mixtapes. And like you gotta understand, like mixtapes wasn't making these niggas money. Like he was touring off his like mixtape type songs and music and stuff like that, but like he wasn't making no money off his streaming. Like he was putting that stuff out on Dat Piff. But like when he did the Soul Tape series, when he did the there's no when he no first it was the no there's no competition, right? He did 3 versions of no there's no competition. Then he gave us 3 Soul Tapes, and then he gave us like 3 Summertime Shootouts, right? And then Young OG Project was mixed in there, and then which was an album, and then I think Cold Summer, and like Cold Summer again, I don't was that an album? Was it not an album? But like there was he was putting out a lot of music, and a lot of us probably think like, dang, like I felt gifted. I was like, dang, like he's really just giving us free music, whatever. And because it was free, it was free. Like we did not pay for this music. We did not pay to stream for this music. It was free music, right? And so it felt good. It was like, damn, like he putting out free music for us. But maybe Fab was trying to die empty, and maybe that's why like there was a time when some of his bars sounded kind of like oh cringy and stuff like that. Maybe it's because like he was literally giving us everything he had. Like he was trying to get everything out. Now, Fab still does, he's still interested in making music. I don't know if he can make a I don't know if he could I don't know if he can like capture the masses anymore because he's an older man. Like he's in his 40s now, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know if he would still captivate the same kind of audience. But well, I don't think he would. Oh shit. I don't think he could have the same effect. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm sorry, I got interrupted. My bad. But no, I don't think he can I don't think he can he's not gonna put up numbers like, again, like a major artist. Like he's not gonna put up like whoever the top artist is. Again, I don't want to I hate keep saying the same names like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, J. Cole. Like, but those are the top artists future. Like he's not gonna put up numbers like those guys do. But like I still think though, if he puts out a good project, again, his audience, which is like older people, is like people my like still millennials. Millennials is his audience. If he puts out music, I think the millennials will still gravitate towards it. If he went on tour with that music, like he would still do well in the tour. Now it's weird because I just seen that he's on tour with French Montana, and he's like, I just never seen Fab as like an opening act. Like he's touring with French Montana, where French Montana is the headliner, and it just don't. I mean, how the tables turn, whatever. It just don't feel right to me. I'm just thinking like, what? Like, how is that? But French got hits, man. French got a lot of hits. But anyway, I just think I just use Fab as an example. I think he's one of the people that like is on some dying empty type thing, and I think it is something that should be kind of explored a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Like how many artists kind of already do something similar to this, and like, what do y'all think of that concept? All right, so I don't know. I want to hear your comments. All right, what do y'all think about this? So let's move on. Let's move on. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Okay. Oh, okay. I got two more little topics, and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. So, headlines. All right. So let's get into some headlines, man. So there's a headline out there that shows that a woman from Illinois got charged. Well, she pled guilty. She pled guilty, but like she's basically at the center of some fraud, right? So there's a lady. Did y'all hear about the lady that stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings? She got sentenced to 9 years. So $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. So let's look at that real quick, just so we get some context, right? So and part of this story now is that Chris Jones, defensive lineman from the Kansas City Chiefs, he says that, yo, I'll pay. He says I'll pay the 1.5 million if y'all set her free, which we all know it don't work like that. And I'm seeing a lot of different narratives, but let's look at this. All right. So it says woman sentenced to 9 years for stealing $1.5 million in chicken wings. Vera Little or Lydell, age 68, pleaded guilty to felony theft for stealing more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings, valued at $1.5 million. It says a former food service director for an Illinois school district was sentenced to prison for stealing more than $1 million worth of chicken wings that were billed to the district but never given to the students, the authorities say. The former employee, Vera Little, 68, pleaded guilty to felony charges. It says Judge Michelle Pittman sentenced her to 9 years in prison. It said the massive fraud began at the height of COVID during the time when students were not allowed to be physically present in school. The 2023 document prepared by the Cook County State Attorney's Office said, even though the children were learning remotely, the school district continued to provide meals for students that their families could pick up. So yeah, when you read that, it's like, oh, maybe you see the headlines, oh, she was stealing food. Well, maybe maybe it was going to the hood. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she was doing that. But stolen food, but here's the thing, here's the catch. But stolen food was never provided to the students. So it wasn't like at any point in time she was giving it to these kids. No, she wasn't. Said the prosecutor's office said the guilty plea was part of a deal reached with the prosecutor's office. Said and the lady she expressed she had a great deal more. She feels incredibly distraught and terrible about what she did. He said she can't even believe she did it. Can't believe 11,000 cases like that ain't that all right. That don't take you don't do that in one trip. You know what I'm saying? Like that's over the course of time. So how can you say you can't believe you did it? I don't know. I'm getting lost here. Let's see. She was hired as a consultant in July 2020 for the Harvey School District 152 in Harvey, Illinois. After serving as the district's food service director, Lydell was helping to onboard the new food service director and was the sole person placing orders, the document said. It says from July 2020 through February 2022, Lydell engaged in a pervasive embezzlement scheme by placing hundreds of unauthorized orders for food items, primarily chicken wings, with the school district's main purveyor, Gordon Food Service. The Cook County stated state attorney's office wrote. It says the orders were separate from the district's regular orders, and Gordon Food Service, thinking that they were legitimate purchases, build the district, then which then paid the invoices. The document said. It says during a mid-year audit in January 2022, the district's business manager discovered the food service department had already surpassed its annual budget by $300,000. Upon closer review, she discovered individual invoices signed by Lydell for massive quantities of chicken wings, an item that was never served to students because they contain bones, the court says. So yeah, they don't even necessarily serve that because of what it contains. It says surveillance video showed that Miss Lydell used the district's cargo vans to pick up the cases of chicken wings from Gordon Food Service, but the food was never brought to the school or provided to the students. It also showed Miss Lydell signed for the items and billed them to the district, right? So it says in one order placed in early October 2021, Lydell received 132 cases of chicken wings valued at approximately $17,000, according to a criminal complaint filed in March 2023. It was unclear what happened to the chicken wings after Lydell picked them up, and she wasn't arrested until January 2023. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, Chris Jones, he got out there and he was saying, "Oh, I'll help her out and I'll, pay this." And I seen a lot of comments in the comment section. They was just saying like, "Oh, they only doing that because she black. They only doing that because this and that." Y'all, $1.5 million worth of anything is still $1.5 million, right? Like I know y'all looking at it like, "Oh, it's just chicken." Y'all might look at it like and say, "Oh, but if this was another person, would they get the same thing?" To me, if you steal $1.5 million worth of anything and you only get 9 years, you got off kind of nice, you know what I'm saying? And that's the plea. That's taking the plea. Maybe the charges would have been more. My thing is this, and I don't got nothing to do with her being black. But this is again, it's a pervasive embezzlement scheme. Like you was obviously doing this with ill intent, right? You wasn't feeding the hood, you wasn't feeding the students. And I'm willing to bet that this was probably like an urban district, right? And school budgets, public education budgets are already tight as they are, or whatever. So you're like literally taking money from, you taking taxpayer money, right? You taking taxpayer money. It ain't like it's a corporation. I mean, school districts aren't corporations. They're funded by the people that live there. You know what I'm saying? And partially the state. So ain't no corporation. It's the government at the most. And like you stealing from these kids, and then we, you know, eat public education already gets a bad rap, and that's why you got people that lobby to get rid of public education and kind of like abolish it for what it is. And because like there's a lot of like bad spending when it comes to education, and then you got like you got weird stuff like this that happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you literally taking food out of people's mouths, so to speak. You using I mean, you using the districts like probably their purchase orders, you know what I'm saying? Like their PO numbers and things like that. You using their equipment, their vans to transport your stolen goods. And then it's like, what was you doing with that? And then it's not like you did it one time. Like, here's the thing, if she stole like, let's say she just stole the $17,000 worth, right? Like that would be, that'd be crazy, whatever. But like you did it for months and months and months. You did it for 2 years before you got caught. I mean, not saying that she don't regret it, not saying that she don't have no remorse, but like it's like, come on now. Like the damage is done. Like you was wilding, and let's call a spade a spade. So I wonder if now, granted, Chris Jones, his stunt is not gonna work. It's not gonna get her out of jail. But like, I wonder if if she is required to pay restitution, I wonder if that would help her case a little bit, like if somebody pays it. But like she definitely can't be an employee anymore because like you want like we can't trust you. Like you have a position where like you are given a lot of responsibility to handle money, and like you don't know how to do that. Like because we don't know what you liable of. So she definitely deserved to lose her job. And there has to be some type of accountability. Maybe not 9 years, but like at the same time, it's like, come on now. $1.5 million all the way wilding, all the way wilding. So I don't know. What do y'all think of that? Do y'all think this is racially motivated? Do y'all think that the punishment does not fit the crime? Do you think if somebody was willing to pay this $1.5 million fee or sum, do you think that should like absolve her and get her out of her consequences? What do you think? What do you think is proper and appropriate for this case? What do you think? Do you think, she should get less time? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. And yeah, man. So we was talking about like kids and things like that. On this podcast, I like to talk about parenting, man, because being a parent is a big part of. It's not my whole identity, but it's a big part of who I am. Because I'm a very active father, and just seeing how society is. It's important to like. I feel like it's important to like talk about it, man. I think that's what when they say like it takes a village and things like that. But part of the village is not just who's taking care of the kids, but like it's it's people actually expressing the views of parenting and like how we should be raising our kids because the thing is, it's different. Raising your kids today is different than it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years. I mean, it's totally different. And we have to adapt, but as parents, we have to kind of stay ahead a little bit. But I know we live in an era where we like to look down on the past because a lot of times we look at the past, like what's been happening recent, like in the last several years, is that we look at the past and we're realizing like the damage that we were doing either to ourselves or to each other in the past, like just like the way we talk to each other, like language, stuff like that. Like we're starting to realize that, but like there's a lot of stuff from the past that's still good. Like there's some oldies but goodies. You know what I'm saying? And this, I want to hear your thoughts about this message here, but about parenting and like I guess like a child being in their like a child being in a child's place. I think essentially that's what this video is kind of about. But let me know what y'all think. Here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go.
How I misbehave, I'm calling mom the first time. And I know people think that's not right. It is right. Because you got to understand, we're up here teaching these teachers to redirect them. They can only do so much redirecting before it's just out of hand. That's why you gotta raise my birth mother, and we don't, and I give her credit. We don't even on the best term. My birth mother said something to me, and I'll never forget it. She said, "I raised you where if something happened to me, somebody else would want to take care of you." And what I have noticed today is that people raise children where they can deal with them, and then expect everybody else to put up with it. Your child is not always going to be with just you. You have to raise your child to how they can survive in the world with or without you. That's being polite. That's being nice. My grandmother told me respect will carry you further than money. And I learned that when I was in college. I was respectful to the women that was around me. So then they would bring me food. They would do all of these things. Why? Because I was respectful. And in a world today where there isn't any respect, you need to teach your child to do it, because that's what's going to set them aside from the rest of them. So yes, when they come into your classroom, it's your job to set the tone for what's not going to be in here. And the moment that child starts misbehaving, they got to go. Because we already know mom will come in and say, well, they don't do that at home. Well, take them home.
Talk about it. Talk about it. I love that. I actually love that. I definitely, again, we was talking about like the public education system a little bit, just being broken and things like that. But like one of the things that we see is I think a lot of us collectively as adults, we see kids, we feel like there's not that same level of respect. We feel that, in schools, like our kids are struggling, but on some behavior type stuff. And I think a lot of times we're always quick to blame the teachers. We're always quick to blame the teachers, but like, and I think a lot of times either parents aren't reflective of their own parenting and like what they allow, or we take for granted, right? Like we take for granted, like you might do good things as a parent, but like you take for granted like those good things and those good values that you're actually instilling in your kid, because if you looked at kids in the totality, you would realize like, yo, they don't all act like your kid. Like a lot of kids don't act like your kid in terms of like being well behaved and things like that. So it probably will be eye opening for a lot of parents if they went. I think all parents should go into a public school. Yeah, I mean, and not even on some punitive type thing, but like, yeah, like spend a day in a class with your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe they not in trouble or anything like that, but just like, yeah, spend a day in there. I think it's harder to do that now. Like I think you be needing clearances to be in the building and stuff like that a lot of times. But if we did that a little bit more, one, I think the kids in the in those classrooms would probably be a little bit more behaved. But like I think certain parents would see like, oh, like these certain behaviors, this is what teachers deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like they not picking on my kid when something's going on. It's like, no, it's like, and it might not even be always your kid, but your kid is easily influenced. Like all teenagers, whether we like to believe it or not, man, all teenagers can be easily influenced, right? Like we all know, like we were all taught certain values and morals and things like that, and then we've all have experienced going against our parents when we weren't around them. So if you like could be a fly on the wall, you probably would realize like, oh shit, like, I mean, when my kid is not around me, they're not as respectful of me and this and that. And like he made a good point to where like you should be raising your kid so that like if you were not around one day, you know what I mean? Like it would be it'd be a pretty smooth thing. Like you can't just raise your kid to a point where you like you tolerate their behavior and like you just tolerate like where it's just a tolerance type thing where it's like, oh yeah, like yeah, they be wilding and I don't know what to do, but I love my kid and and you just tolerate it. But instead of like correcting certain things, instead of just instead of or kind of justifying it as like, oh, that's their personality. No, like there's certain things maybe you should correct, or there's certain things you maybe you can't correct everything, but you can teach, because that's the thing with respect. Respect, it does go a long way. Respect does go a long way. And I always talk about how kids today don't have the same discretion that we had, right, when we were growing up. So kids today are very blatant and upfront with everything that they do. And that's good and bad. Like it's good because you're not sneaking around, but it's bad because there's certain things that adolescents are saying. There's certain things that adolescents are doing that like maybe we shouldn't know about. As parents, maybe we should know about that. Like out of respect, right? Like if you have a adolescent, if you have adolescent that like curses a lot, right? Like they might curse when they not around you, right? Whatever, but like out of respect, you should never really hear them curse, right? Out of respect for you, out of respect for their elders and things like that. Like they should like you should never hear. Like people outside might hear it sometimes, but like you should never hear. But also too, like maybe the other adults don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like when we used to go to the park and we're playing basketball at the park, and that's when we start exercising our profanity. You know what I'm saying? We at the park, that park profanity, you know what I'm saying? We be exercising that, right? And but when if a parent would come by, like or a mother, or maybe like a parent, one of our peers parents, or like a mother that's there with a young child, like I grew up in a time where we would like clean up our language a little bit, or like or you would also have your peers to be like, yo, chill, yo, you see that, yo, there's little kids out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we would revise the way that we talk, but like kids these days don't care, like they just don't have that same discretion, whatever. But like again, part of that discretion is respect. It's like I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do, but I respect you enough. I respect you enough not to put it in your face. You know what I'm saying? And I think that goes a long way. But like yeah, like I say, he makes a good point to where we need to be raising our kids with that, just having that universal respect and politeness and things like that. Like that, and that doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you soft if you're polite. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's about respect. Like you have different level of respect, and like you move a little bit different, and it's probably gonna take you a little bit further than what you think. So that's that. That's that. What do you think? What do you think though? What do you think? Does the boy have a point? How are you raising your kids? Do you feel like if you were gone today, do you feel like um, other than your child dealing with grief, do you think that other people will have a hard time raising your children? I think my son, I think people would I think I've never had heard anything bad about my son, like in terms of like whenever he was under anybody's care. I never heard anybody say anything bad. I've always heard people say like, "Yo, he's a good kid. Like he would, like he could come over here anytime. Like he's the ultimate guest. Like his dad. Like I'm the ultimate guest. Like when I go over people's houses and stuff like that, like people love me and they want me back. You know what I'm saying? That's how my son is. Like he go to people's houses, he do this, whatever. People want him back because he didn't. Yeah, I mean, he don't talk out of turn. He don't. He don't insert himself in places that he don't need to be. He don't butt in the conversation. Like, yeah, I mean, he's a good, solid, respectful kid. But all right, last thing. And we're gonna talk a little bit about media, and what we know it to be. And y'all see me, and man, I picked on Tyler Perry a couple different times, and people was been in comment sections, call me a hater and things like that, and like um, saying that I'm mad because I'm not as successful as him and things like that. But no, we've really been talking, and I've really been talking about the creation of good content, right? Like that's all it is. That's all we talk about, right? And there is a pervasive trend where we notice that like the stuff that they put out that's related to black people that has black characters in it, it's always the same stuff, or it's like very simple or very dumbed down. And that's what I was saying about Tyler Perry is like that's cool, you speaking to your audience, whatever, but like I think your audience can actually grow and evolve with you. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to keep everything so basic. But hear what this director has to say. And I've seen this guy before, and he's talked about being like I think he's a writer of some sort, because and I've seen him talk about writing for different networks and things like that. So let's hear what he got to say.
Ever wonder why it feels like all the shows Hollywood makes for black people are so basic? That's on purpose. A few years ago, I sold my first TV series to BET, and they even told the press that they were making 8 episodes of my show. But when we got into the development on my show, they told me it was too complex. They told me to make it more simple. They said we need simpler characters, simpler dialogue, simpler plot lines, simple, simple, simple. I wanted to keep the show complex. I thought we deserve complex storytelling. No. A couple months later, an executive pulled me aside and said, listen, kid, at this network, we make shows for single moms at home making dinner for their kids. They need to be able to follow your show without really paying attention. In other words, make it dumber. I couldn't do that. So a month later, I got a call from my agent. She said, BET's pulling out. They're not going to make your show. I was heartbroken, but I learned an important lesson. Why would a company called Black Entertainment Television want to serve their own people undercooked nothing burgers? The answer is that the Black in BET is just a storefront. BET is owned by Paramount Global. And who runs Paramount Global? You know who. Do you ever want...
You know what I'm saying? And Tyler Perry tried to buy BET, but at the same time, Tyler Perry has pumped out quite a few different shows on BET, and I haven't watched those shows, so I can't say they're complex or not, or if they're simple. But it's just crazy how like we know that. See, that's my point too about Tyler Perry, because we already know that this exists. Like we know that that's what Hollywood wants to put out. But that's why it's important for a creator, somebody of, because Tyler Perry does have crazy status, right? So it's like, yo, you should be taking us to another level, because you actually have, you're a stakeholder. You actually have ownership. You ain't just a writer. You ain't a starving creator. Like you made it. Like you made it. And you might say, well, yeah, some people, the argument might be, well, yeah, like why would he change what's not broken? You know what I'm saying? Like this, what he's done has led to his success. Well, it's because collectively, right? We're not in these rooms. Like collectively, we don't have a seat at the table. Like you created your own table, my dude. You created your own table. So like let's invite the real creatives in there. Let's make better shows. And and you have the power to put these shows out. You have the infrastructure to get this content out. You got this young brother right there talking about he want to write complex stories, complex dialogue, because he thinks that we deserve it. So hire this man. Maybe not to make one of your movies, right? Like it don't gotta be, you know what I mean? But like maybe it's a part of your productions though. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to have your hand in everything that that comes out of your production studios. You know what I'm saying? Like hire and outsource a little bit. And that's what we're saying. But we already know that exists. We already know that's why, you know, all the shows and movies and things like that we get pumped out is all about the hood. It's all about drugs. It's all about, you know, it's this surface level dialogue. It's a lot of fighting. It's a lot of catty. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of low vibrational type of energy, and that's what we feed into, and Tyler Perry don't have to do that. Shout out to that young brother, man, who's creative, who's trying to fight the good fight, man, and doing what he got to do. So, but what do you think, man? This one, I don't know how long this was. It might be a little bit shorter than normal. I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to come down with something. You know, I'm trying to. My throat's a little bit on fire right now. I need a drink. I need a fucking glass of water. But if you enjoyed the show, if you still tuned in, I need you to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Go to our Instagram page, and flood it with likes. You know, give us some comments. Give us some shares. Also YouTube, obviously, I want y'all to flood that and help this channel grow. I mean, catch us on Twitter, catch us on Facebook. I'm saying we moving and grooving. But yeah, this is episode 159 of 20 Plus Podcast, y'all. Let me know what you think of this episode. If you're still watching, I'm your host, Los Dev. This is episode 159. I'm out.